I am joined by Nicolas Durand, Vice President, Revenue Strategy for S Hotels and Resorts, coming to us from Bangkok, Thailand. How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. How you been? You moved.
Yes. So I had the pleasure to move country during the pandemic. So from Dubai to France to then Bangkok since October. So that was a bit of a experience.
Yeah. So how is Bangkok doing?
So Bangkok is good. So the thing is, Thailand has really worked really well concerning COVID. I think since the beginning we had about 30,000 cases since the beginning, and very like only few casualties. So on that side, it's been really well managed by the government. However, obviously, it was well managed because the country was closed. So obviously, business-wise, is challenging. But
Yeah.
life is pretty much as normal. Of course, social distancing, the mask, all of that. But it's quite different from what you hear from different other countries.
Are people traveling to Bangkok?
So today, in order to come to Bangkok, you have you need to go through a lot of paperwork. So now there's not much up to now. I think it's been mainly like kind of quarantine and people coming back to Thailand. However, now there's a plan to reopen the country. So right now, if you want to come, you need to go through a lot of paperwork. You need to have approval to come in, and also you have to quarantine for 15 days in a hotel. But now there's a plan by the government looking at reopening the country. So Phuket will be the first destination as of 1st of July, where people who are vaccinated will be able to come in the hotels. So they'll be able to come to Thailand. They won't have to do a quarantine, but everybody needs to be vaccinated. Also, we need to make sure that all the people working in Phuket and that we reach herd immunity. So all the vaccine and all of that is getting on track. So yeah, there's some movement into reopening the country now.
So quickly tell us about S Hotels and Resorts.
Yeah, so S Hotels and Resorts, we're a company ultimately owned by Singa Estate. So this Singa Estate has like kind of three different section of business. One is the hotels business. So we're owning company to start with, and now we're moving to being a management company. So we have hotels in Thailand. We have 4 properties in Thailand. We have 3 properties in Maldives. We have 29 properties in the UK, but those are done with Accor, for example, with Mercure in Maldives. We work with Hard Rock. We also have properties in Fiji and Mauritius with our Trigger. But everything in Thailand, then we manage ourselves.
So tell us about your role. Have you had to make adjustments, I would assume, like everybody?
Yeah, so my role is I've been focusing a lot. I mean, we've actually taken over some hotels in Thailand in our management. So since I've joined, it's been really we've launched a new brand as of 1st of February. So we have 2 properties in Phuket now as branding as Sai. So since I've joined, I actually started this new role in August. So it's been really working on putting all the stack of technology, channel manager, booking engine, interface, BI solution is really building the entire kind of revenue management and distribution stack for to what we have, right? Obviously, with the properties we have in the UK and Maldives, we use brands, so all of this was done. But now also most of them we have on franchise contracts. So obviously really, working on, optimizing as much as we can. The good thing is Maldives is doing well, but with very different source markets. And now it's all about getting ready in Thailand for when the country is reopening. So I've been really focusing on that and really taking this as an opportunity to really look at what we need to do, what we need to change, so I think in some ways it's a good opportunity to really reset and do all the things that maybe on a normal time when we're running 80-90% occupancy, we can't really look at all of those things. So all that I'm doing now is really to prepare and enable the company to recover faster.
Yeah. Are you doing more with less? I mean, you have less staff, less resources.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing is that's what I said, kind of a little bit of a Swiss Army knife right now. So we're doing more. I think it's all about, how do we structure? So one of the things is obviously we've clustered some of those things. Let's say we had the director of revenue that was taking care of one hotel. Now we have one obviously taking care of like an area. And then a lot about automation also. So I have to do a lot more with less. So that's why also I'm looking at the stack of technology, rolled out a BI tool also in order to be able to do things a lot more automatically. So it's a lot of things that I'm working on, even though, depending on the properties, but I still think, we need revenue managers. But obviously right now, if we're looking at Thailand, it's not like we don't optimize as much as, we used to, because the occupancy or the demand can be very low, even though actually for April, there's a big holidays in Thailand, and there's actually quite a bit of demand, which is good. So we've been looking at actually starting optimizing and going back a little bit to normal. Which is great, and now really working on, okay, what do we need to do? What market will come back first? To Thailand, also working with our properties in Maldives, which have been actually quite busy. So Maldives have been one of the few destinations of the world where there's actually been taking opportunity of being one of the only destination being open.
Yeah. Well, any advice for hoteliers as we continue through this?
Yeah, I think, the first thing is, I think we need to look at pricing differently, obviously now. Almost over time we had, in Thailand to look at, in the past, maybe we had 3% of the market, which was Thai, right? So we had to completely readapt. Obviously also forecasting is a bit of a challenge. So it's all about having the right type of data, looking at different ways. So, when I'm looking at my pickup, it's more like the month for the month. Week for the week. So I think looking at the pickup has been extremely key, especially when we really pick up last minute.
Mm-hmm. All right, Nicolas, I want to thank you for joining me, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You bet.